All right, let's do part 4. We're going to talk about age, which is winters crossed. A lot of nations do this, winters crossed, to count the age. And then we'll do a review of everything we've covered so far in the identity. So let's go on to it. First thing, you got to know your numbers. Know numbers for age. You want to know numbers for prices. Numbers are good to know. Telling time, remaining time, it's good to know. So if we go through these real quick, Skad, Dikni, Se, Gay, Wis, Yeet, Jadak, or Jadak, Digyon, Jodon, Washan. So a couple mispronunciations that you hear every now and then. Some people will glottal stop this. They'll say gate. It's gay. All right. So no glottal stop in 4. But then they won't glottal stop 6. So it's yate. That's where it happens. Yate. So not yay. Don't hold this. And then this one, instead of saying was san, do the was and then the han. Was han. So I did a video on how S's and H's work. You can always watch that. All right. So if you know those, most of these 11 through 19, you just add skite. Some people will say this one's skaskite. They'll just put it in one word, skaskite. So, or you can say skaskite or skadskite. But you add this skite to all these ones you just did for your teens. All right. And then you get to de was han. De was han. De was han for 20. And then I duplicated it up here. All right. So then with the 10 variations, I don't think we're going to have anybody who's this old on here. You should probably be somewhere in here. So again, I'm just reduplicating these over here. Zadak ni washan. Zadak ni washan, right? Gay ni washan. 40. And then you'll see as we go on, you combine these. So if I'm 41, you say gay ni washan skad. If you're 75, say zadak ni washan wis. All right. If you're 67, yate ni washan zadak. All right. So that's how the ages work, really. Once you learn these and you can add these and you add these niwashan, you're pretty good to go on quite a bit of numbers, at least through 100. So let's go through mine real quick. Wis niwashan skad niwagos hiago. Wis niwashan skad niwagos hiago. All right. Niwagos hiago. Wis niwashan skad niwagos hiago. I've crossed 51 winters, all right? Or I'm 51 years old. So you put your age, wis niwas has God, and then you say niwagos hiago. If you go to haro, se niwas hagi niwagos hiago. Se niwas hagi niwagos hiago, right? So the biggest thing is just, 1, you got to learn your number, and 2, you got to know how to say niwagos hiago. Same thing here for Gwentani. Se niwas hagi niwagos hiago. Se niwas hagi niwagos hiago. All right, same number as Hado. So if we review, right, break these up into little sections. So the first section, this is going to be my first thought. I'm going to say all these. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to say these 2 things about myself. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to say these 3 things about myself, and then finally I'll wrap up with this. All right. So Shodzí'dzo ni gyaso Damien nani ganyon ka gwahe web on gyas ta. There, you're done. Onondawa ga ni wago enzo de ginya de ko. Right. So now I did that part. Onondawa ga ni wago enzo de ginya de ko. Or Onondawa ga ni wago enzo de ne kone genya de. Now we go on to the next part. Jongud knongi gwahe dosho we dwagato je tgeha ge dwagenon ge donko. Jongud knongi gwahe dosho we dwagato je tgeha ge dwagenon ge donko. Finish that thought. Last one. Wis niwas haskad niwago siako. All right. So these 3, I'm getting these all in my head. Then these 2 things in my head. These 3 things in my head. And then this last thing. All right. If I was Hadodeka, same thing. Hadodeka ni gyason Jeffrey nani ganyon ka kwahe hado on gyasta. Ganyen gyono ni waguenzo then ne kone agezoni ga or agezoni ga ko. Tanamonde knonge kwahe swegen twagatoje. Brantford twagenon gedo. Sat ni was hege ni wago siako. Do that for Gwentani. She's one variation is down here, right? So Gwentani ni gyaso Devon nani ganyon ka kwahe gub on gyasta. Onundawa ga ni wagoenzo den genya den ko. Tana wonde knonge twagadoje ko kwahe Amherst twagenon gedo. Se ni was has gay ni wago siako. All right. So again, here's a thought, here's a thought, here's a thought, and then here's a thought. So I say that because what you can mix these up to however you want to introduce yourself. You can mix them up, but also just talk. Just talk. So part of it, you're learning some cadence on how to do these, but you don't want to sound like you're trying to remember something, right? I don't want to say Shodzí'dzo ni gyaso. Damien nane ganyon ka guahe web on gyasta, right? I don't want to say like that's not my flow, is to always be like questioning what I say and unsure. Say it, confirm it, be sure about what you're saying. So Shodzí'dzo ni gyaso Damien nane ganyon ka guahe web on gyasta. There's that thought, right? Onundawa ga ni wagoenzo de genya de ko. John good knonge guahe dosho we dwagadoje tgeha ge dwageno ge donko. Wis ni was has God ni wago siako. All right. So you're not questioning anything, but sometimes it's good to break these up so that way you don't feel like you're trying to read a whole list off and like go down 9 things. Now when you start mixing them up, like usually I'll do my name, my nation, and my clan. Like that's my first group. So Shodzí'dzo ni gyaso onundawa ga ni wagoenzo den ne kone genya den, right? My name is Shodzí'dzo. I'm Seneca and Turtle Clan, right? These things can be secondary. If I want, I can say these later. And Dane Damien ne ganyon ka guahe web on gyasta, right? So I can just say, and so, also I have English names, Damien, but people call me Web. All right. Dane Oya, so also Jongud Knonge Guahe Dosho we Dwagadoche, right? So I live in Jongud, but I grew up in Buffalo. I don't have to add this part of where I was born if I don't want to. You can, but you don't have to. And then same thing, age. That's up to you if you want to include your age or not. So you can pick which things you want. I mean, I grouped them like this, but you can regroup all this stuff to what you just want to say. Maybe it's just 3 things and 2 things. Maybe it's just 2 things and 2 more things. But you group it so it's a thought, and then you just say those. And you just don't want to feel like you're reading off a list. Oh, nundawa ga ni wagoenzo de genya de ko jongud kanonge guahe dosho we dwagado. Like, see, you can hear how I'm like reading off a list, and you don't want to sound like you're reading off a list. You're telling about yourself, all right? And you're telling about yourself in onundawa ga. So hopefully you can put all these together, learn these in steps. And what would be really cool is if you got on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube yourself and just did your intro, as best you could. Try to learn how to say it rather than read it, because reading will throw you off, Listen to the sound, apply those sounds to your name, where you're from, all these identifiers, and then just go for it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. But that would be cool. Like some of them, and then we'll start teaching you how to introduce other people besides just yourself, because this is just the start. Everything's in the me form, and you want to go beyond just the me form and introduce other people. So, jago, daniho.